So first of all, this is the regular patch note that they released recently. One of the great things that are coming, that is a quality of life change, is actually the explosion haze. This explosion haze will be removed from all maps with year 5 season 4 to ensure consistency and reliability, which is not achieved with the current haze system. All maps. So this is whenever you throw a grenade or a C4 mid-round in a room and you can't see all. That's what this is. They're removing it, meaning that you're gonna have a consistent and reliable gaming experience whenever you're gonna have explosions go off in a room. The most notable room is like border workshop ventilation bomb site. In workshop, there's just like a light, and if you throw a C4 or a nade, it will create this fog effect because the light goes through the smoke. This is a great change, honestly. The Shanka got nerfed. They took away, so it showed last time you had a withstand ability similar to Sophia, and they've actually removed that. And this is obviously a great change because why the does the Shanka have withstand? It makes no sense. Overtuned, etc. Match replay. So they changed that the fastest of replays are optimized. Player view can be adjusted by selecting numeric keys 0 through 9. Uplay friends will be watching as a match replay status when they're watching a replay on their Uplay friends list. Art has been updated for watch session. Game flow of match replay has been updated, and you can now quick select a player by clicking on their player card. Bunch of bug fixes, obviously. That's like the small patch notes, okay? Now for the big ones, and there's a lot of good in this. Okay, and there are some things that are neutral or bad or could have been done differently in my own opinion. But most importantly, if you guys haven't read this yet, either read it now before I talk through it. I want you guys to have your own opinion and make your own judgment of what you think of these changes before you blindly take my opinion as your opinion. Utility meta. We've taken good note of the pro community feedback, recognized the current meta revolving around heavy utility and defense is causing issues to the health of the game. This is true. This is a global issue tied to multiple operators that will require several changes. As a result, we're taking a few important steps to try and address it. Now, if you go back to the day before this patch, basically, we would have said Smoke should lose the shield, Valkyrie should lose the shield, Wamai should lose the shield, and that would basically fix a lot of problems. We give those shields to operators, maybe like someone like Capcan, and therefore we're gonna see a shift in meta because you're not gonna pay Captain, Warden, and Ella because they have terrible primary gadgets, right? That's what a lot of community members wanted to do. It is kind of what they've done. But what they also done is that they've changed the catchers, and catchers is referring to Jaeger and Wamai, and also Aruni, the new operator. And basically, it's how the gadgets interact with the environment and the incoming utility from attackers. So they're trying to lower the amount of projectiles denied by these operators within a single round. Currently, these catcher operators can deny 5 to 6 projectiles per round. We're aiming for something closer to 3 to 4 per operator. Jaeger's being reworked. He has a single ADS, or he says a single ADS will no longer deny several projectiles in quick succession. We expect this change to lower his deniability to be around 3 projectiles per round. Wamai is losing 1 magnet, meaning he has from 5 to 4, so also reduction. And Aruni has been designed within that constraint in mind, similar to Jaeger. She should have a deniability of 3 projectiles. So yeah, basically Aruni will also in some way play into the same mechanic as Jaeger and Wamai, which is interesting. But basically, they're making it so that Jaeger has like a single ADS, I believe. So the ADS device has a cooldown time of 10 seconds after destroying a projectile. During the cooldown, the ADS device will not interact with enemy projectiles. So it has a single charge and then a 10-second cooldown. Yeah, instead of having 2 like now, it has an infinite number. But no matter how long it's on the ground for, it's just 1. You can't charge it up and stack it. It's not like it gets 1 charge per 10 seconds. It has 1 charge and it can only recharge when that's used. That's Hunter, it's Jaeger. If you stack 3 though, where you catch 3. So what they've changed is that if you stack multiple catching abilities next to each other, they're gonna catch each other's. So if you have 1 Wamai magnet and 1 ADS, the 1 flashbang you throw will destroy both the ADS and it'll take the charge from the ADS and from the magnet. Or you can stack Wamai magnets because in the same family or the same group, you can no longer do massive stacking everywhere. I'm not sure if this is a good change personally. I do think that it's gonna change the game a lot. But the thing is that this is probably a great change for the current meta being utility heavy. But I don't think it's going to be great in a year from now, perhaps, when we no longer, or if possible, right? If we're no longer stacking utility. Because we're going to have nade operators being available. And it's going to be like, let's say year 2 of Siege, year 3 of Siege. You're going to run 4 nades on attack on average because you're playing Sledge and Buck. And you're going to have, people that basically can always get naded in key positions. And then what that means is that you're forcing the Wamai and the Jaeger in comparison. Because now all of a sudden, like they have 4 nades still. We need to deny 4 nades. Well, Jaeger's not going to do it. So we need to stack Wamai and Jaeger now. And obviously that is great because we no longer have shield on Wamai. But at the same time, you're gonna end up in a scenario where no matter what you really do, you're gonna end up forcing Aruni, Melusi, Maestro, Smoke, right? Because if the enemy has 4 nades and you can't really, catch them with ADSs or more mind magnets, what are you gonna do instead? Well, you're gonna play bulletproofs, shields, and bulletproof gadgets, because then the enemy needs to basically choose what to destroy constantly, so that you can't just get naded in player positions, because you're still gonna have shields available and Maestro Cams available and Melusi's available, right? So I don't know if it's gonna be good overall long term, but it'll be interesting to play with for sure. It's gonna bring a little bit more teamwork into the game for sure, especially with Ashe losing flash grenades, because that's the next topic, is dependency on Ashe and Sophia, where the utility meta force attackers to heavily rely on projectiles, mostly explosives, in order to deal with the bulletproof utility. And that's obviously a very logical solution. In that regard, both Sophia and Ashe, to a lesser extent, turned out to be mandatory picks. This led to making these two operators with an already solid loadout even more appealing. But again, the issue isn't Sophia or Ashe, right? The issue is Melusi, Maestro, Goyo, Wamai, Smoke Shield, Valkyrie, The issue isn't Ashe or Sophia per se, it's just that they are the best reaction you can have to the utility meta, because they give you the most. They're the solution, they're not the problem. So what they've done is that they've also basically touched those operators. So what they've done is that Ashe has lost her flashbangs, and she got 3 Ashe charges. Damage reduction, not a huge deal. It wasn't really used for that, so who cares? So Ashe has now Claymore and Breaching Charge. What this could mean is that you could actually almost replace Sledge or Bug with Ashe. As ridiculous as that sounds, you could play Breaching Charge and 3 Ashe charge Ashe. And instead of clearing shields, you do vertical play, because you can be like a Bug and Ashe charge from below in 3 times. And you can be like Sledge or Bug and do 3 from above. Plus you have your 3 breaching charges from above as well. I don't think this is necessarily gonna happen, but Ashe could in some weird way become Bug, like take his role and his responsibility in the game, which is probably a good thing, right? It means that Ashe is now a different operator. But what I don't like about this is that Ashe is now dependent on teammates to clear a shield, a Master Cam, or a bulletproof at all times. And then as you see here, Twitch actually got flashbangs and lost her breaching charges. Twitch got flashbangs, which is kind of wild, because I always believe in this one rule of metagame, which is you don't give Kite, Mute, or Bandit impact grenades. They are a deny operator. Their gadget is to deny. Their primary gadget is the ADS clear. But you've broken this rule now. It's my rule, not Ubisoft's, but you've broken this balancing rule, and you're giving Twitch, who's a clearing operator, flashbangs. You can single-handedly clear every single magnet and every single ADS with Twitch. Giving Twitch stuns for the new ops gadget, I think, so she doesn't have to throw a shock drone to get in, since the new gadget doesn't break. But what about IQ? As IQ, you literally can't do anything, because if you're faced with this obstacle, you don't have flashbangs, you don't have smoke grenades, you have no projectiles. The only way to disable this laser is to throw a drone into it. And also, your drone dies, because your drone is your only way of gaining information in the game. You're basically forced in a lot of situations to take 30 damage, and there's no way to destroy it. Like, you can disable it temporarily, but you can't destroy it, right? I don't think it's very healthy gameplay at all, personally. I think this is kind of like Melusi. It's very oppressive. Only certain operators can deal with it, really. Also, 30 damage, that's 1/3 of your health, basically, if you're full. Plus, you got Legion Mines and Impacts and C4s and getting wallbanged and pinged, and like, there's a lot of ways of taking damage in this game right now. There's a lot of ways to take damage. So, it is a bit wonky, right? It certainly is. However, from negative change to positive change, if we look at Hibana, however, Hibana has gotten one of the biggest quality of life upgrades we've seen this entire game's existence. You can now choose between 2, 4, and 6 pellets. You press B, like for fire mode change, like with Sophia, and you can do 2, 4, or 6 pellets. This is huge for the simple reason of efficiency, because you don't need to use, all 6 pellets for a single castle barricade, or for a single hatch, or for a single hole. So when you're opening a wall and they're impact tricking it, you can just use 2 pellets, they impact trick it, 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 and you can still breach the entire wall after that. Hibana is the single best operator in the current meta, at least, for the simple reason that she's the most consistent operator to get off walls. you can open up 4 hatches. That's the most hatches anyone can open because you can use 4 pellets instead of 6. So you can use 4 hatches. You can deny the impact trick or bait it out. You can breach walls based off your size. You can break a castle barricade with 2 pellets. That's super good. This basically makes Hibana the best universal operator in the game. Not the best in every single scenario, but if you were to blindly pick and hard breach for any map, for any strat, you would have the best value with Hibana because you can overcome any obstacle. But there will be cases where Maverick is way better. Let's say Clubhouse, obviously. Oregon, sometimes. Especially with the Thatcher ban and the map and the kite being played, etc. But Thermite is getting more and more obsolete. And even Ace getting nerfed from 3 explosions to 2 explosions also makes Ace less great. He has a better gun and he has smoke grenades, but besides the smoke grenades, just looking at the raw gadget power, no one is close to Hibana. Thermite could use some loving. Thermite is like, I think this kind of just goes to show the power creep of operators. Like if you look at Aruni, she has this crazy fucking, you can't destroy bulletproof laser thing. And when she melees a wall, it creates a hole in the wall, like an actual hole in the wall. You can punch a road, you can punch open hatches, and she has a DMR on defense. You have never seen a DMR on defense before. So if you compare this new operator to Thermite who came out in, 2014, 2015 kind of thing, you can see a significant power creep difference. And she's a 2-speed, 2 armor, which I don't know if you guys have realized, but they're basically making every single operator 2 armor, 2 speed, which is like the best. It's like the best of both worlds, right? You're not crazy fast and you take a bunch of damage. You're not crazy slow making a bunch of sound. 2-speed, 2 armor is what a lot of players have been saying that they should make every single operator. Like, the speed, the armor, baseline, everyone is 2-2. Maybe with the exception of shields, or let's say you're playing Rook and you take less damage, you have 1 armor, 1 speed, like whatever that case might be. Echo is interesting because they're giving him back the deployable shield, which is a buff. And again, you can argue with it, you can, argue for and against it, but they removed the cloaking to the yokai drone, meaning that the drones are always visible as if they are moving on the ground. What this means is that instead of just slapping a drone in the ceiling that you're never gonna find as an attacker, you need to actively move your drones into position when you need them. Put them in a position where they can jump up for info and jump down again behind cover. You can't just lazily set and forget the Echo drone. And I think this is a great change because IQ was the only counter to Echo, and fitting IQ in your lineup is not only fucking boring, it's also hard to fit in your lineup because of the meta. But if you gave IQ frag grenades, I mean, I think that would fix a lot of problems. That meme still goes back where if IQ was more flexible in lineups by having frag grenades, I think IQ could get picked consistently every single round. That's not the case, but yeah. Echo is getting nerfed for his drone. He is getting better utility in the secondary gadget, getting the shield. He does have the 1.5x on his MP5 SD or whatever. Echo is looking okay. I'm very happy because Echo was such a destructive operator, not fun to play against, not fun to play as. Dokkaebi, dude. They gave Dokkaebi frag grenades back. She didn't have them, then she got them, then she lost them, now they're back again. I can't keep track of what the is going on here. I really can't. But yeah, Dokkaebi got frag grenades. You know who got buffed recently, Chad? Glass got buffed last patch. Now Dokkaebi is getting buffed. Are we gonna see a return? ADSs are getting nerfed. Are we gonna see a smoke meta with Dokkaebi Glass? Because ADSs only have 1 charge. Mine only has 4 magnets. There is way less shields in the game. And now we're buffing Dokkaebi and Glass in 2 patches back to back. Ying is really strong in case you forgot. 2 smoke grenades, 3 Ying Candelas. If anything, we're gonna see a Warden, Glass, Ying, Dokkaebi meta. It is extremely easy to abuse this now. Remember, when I lost a shield, Valkyrie lost the shields. I'm against this. I'm very much against this. Do you know who lost their frag grenades, boys? Zero lost them. And he got breaching charges instead. So what they do is that when they remove it from one operator, they give it to another. They usually want to have a certain amount of frag grenades in the operator selection possible for players to choose from. I think a lot of people have said that Zero had too much going on. He had 2 drones, 2 frag grenades, and 4 cameras. He still has 2 drones and he still has 4 cameras. And I think this is actually the wrong way to do it. I think you should have changed Zero into 2 drones, 2 cams, 2 nades. This way you have 4 projectiles, 2 you can use for ADS clear off of flank cams or whatever. Because the issue with having 4 cameras is power creep. When you give a single operator this much power in a single area of his operator, it becomes a one-trick wonder. Wamai got nerfed. Happy days. He got impact grenades, but lost the deployable shield. So this is a nerf and a buff. Losing the shield is great. Well, you don't give a protecting operator something to protect, right? You don't give Omai, who can deny nades, a shield. Because you're breaking the metagame rule. Like, this is my rule, not Ubisoft's rule. Rejoice, the rule is now back. The balance has been brought, right? Valkyrie got impact grenades as well instead of deployable shield. So same thing. The most picked operators in Pro League. So arguably the best is like Smoke, Valkyrie, Jaeger, Wamai, Maestro, Echo, Mira, and Melusi. Those are the strongest. Like, if you pick them, you've done a great job. If you pick Killer, you're fucking trolling, right? So they're basically nerfing Valkyrie and Omai by taking away the secondary gadget and reducing the power creep. So losing the shield on Valkyrie is great because she already has an extremely strong primary gadget. Same with Omai. However, Smoke hasn't lost his shield. There was one thing that I really wanted to see was that Smoke, Omai, and Valkyrie, all three lost their shields. Smoke still has his shield. If I could choose further in depth, I would actually prefer that Valkyrie kept her shield if Smoke lost his. Because with Valkyrie, you can still make the decision between the shield or the C4. Kind of like, post Valkyrie, info and C4ing vertically. That's like what they're known for. But with Smoke, you have barbed wire or shield. Why the frick would you ever pick barbed wire and Smoke when you got a shield, right? They actually changed it so instead of being detected for 3 seconds, it's 1. Well, it's technically 2 seconds, but you can cheat the game and make it 3 if you know how to abuse the system. Oh god, what? What is that? There is a bar. That's disgusting. That's terrible. Nah, dude, there is no way they're slapping this big fucking bar on my screen. They're trolling. That's okay, dude. That must be a beta thing, okay? That must be in testing phase still. There is absolutely no way that I'm not gonna jump out for the sole reason that I can't see the screen if I do. Oh, physical changes. Ash's breakthrough round is now stuck to Melusi's Banshee sound defense and destroys it. Oh, so like with fucking Maestro cams, if you Ash charge, it fucking bounces off and just doesn't destroy it. Now they stick. And they changed the chat for like the 20th time, which is fucking ugly, but who cares? I don't use it. It's really big too. It is disgusting. It's like if you're 16 you can't read. Font scaling, that is a good thing. Faster reinforcements, so 1 second faster. So this is actually super fucking cool, by the way, chat. From 5.5 seconds to 4.5. Reinforcing is now faster. I have been asking for this feature since the beta of the game, and it's only a second, but you know what? I'll fucking take it. That is a POC. I might start reinforcing in rank now, That's pretty much all the changes. We didn't even know that much. All right, do you guys want a verdict? Overall, from 1 to 10, how happy are we, chat? There's a few things that we kind of wish that was on this list. There's a few things that weren't talked about, like server stability and cheaters and etc. I think we're gonna start with giving it a 7. I was gonna give it an 8 originally, but there's a few things that concerns me. 1, Zero got nerfed the wrong way in my opinion. 2, they gave flashbangs to Twitch and took them away from Ash. And 3, they gave Dokkaebi frag grenades again. And she kept the smoke grenades. She lost the flashbangs.